You've landed on this video because you're opening a boutique and you typed in how much inventory do I need to start my boutique? Or some variation on that theme. And in this video, you're going to get exactly that. You're in the right place. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps you need to figure out what to buy, how much to spend, and how to make sure you profit from that very first order. So whether you're opening a brick and mortar, an online boutique, or some sort of pop-up shop, let's talk about what are the right ways to figure out that first bit of inventory. You've been doing all this other research about starting a boutique. This is the part you want to get right. Guessing about your inventory is just going to keep you broke and it will not set you up for success. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Emily Benson. This is what I do every single day. I love helping boutique owners, whether you have a women's store, men's store, children's, just a product shop where you sell gifts, or it doesn't really matter. If you're selling inventory, we need to make sure you're making money off that inventory because why would you open otherwise? I've helped thousands of other boutique owners just like you start, grow, and scale their boutique businesses. So this channel is for you, and I would ask you to subscribe right now because this is all I teach. So if you want to learn professional level retail education, I'm your girl. I don't necessarily want to start with the mistakes, but I think it's important to do that because you're coming to this video, probably have watched other videos, probably have done your research a little bit here and there, and you might have heard other advice. Now, again, I've been doing this for 20 plus years, and I have seen the same mistakes over and over and over with new boutique owners. So what I want to do first is walk you through what those mistakes are so that you just don't do them. We just kind of wipe the slate clean. I want to start you with a fresh start when I give you the strategy in a minute here. I'm going to try to go through this quickly because I hate being negative, but I have to educate you about the recurring issues I see. Okay. So first off is buying what you think people will like rather than what you like or that your demographic is going to buy. Too many people out there are looking outside themselves for inspiration for their store, and I need you to look inside. What do you love? What gets you excited? What can't you wait to buy? There is so much value that we can't quantify in your energy, your excitement, and your love for a product. I've had people say to me, I want to open a boutique, and I actually don't. I just want to because you get me excited about it. Okay. And that's what it is. It is the energy behind what you're doing, who you're helping, that customers, I hate saying that, but customers, that's what they want. They want the connection. They want to know that they're on the same page as you. So don't think that your target market or your ideal customer is so far off. Honestly, a lot of the times I see that they're really like the boutique owner. Few and far between, I'll see boutiques that are very successful and it is a bit of a disconnect from the owner, but the owner knows that and is aware of that and is really smart to navigate it. There's a lot of FOMO in boutique land, and I think that we see other boutiques and think we have to be fully put together, fully stocked from day one. That is a huge mistake. To overbuy inventory is the cardinal sin of boutique ownership. Okay. So from day one, we just want to say, don't overbuy. Don't buy more than you think you need. It's okay to sell out, especially when you're just first starting, but most likely you're not going to. So that's why we want to prevent you from buying too much right out the gate. As you grow and you develop the store and your demographic and see what they like and what you like and how the market changes, you can always adjust. What you're doing today might not be what you're selling next year. That's fine. Let's just get you in the door and get your feet wet and figure out what that looks like. Because you're here and you have passion and you want to start this boutique, I think there's a misconception that there isn't science and data behind owning a store. Actually, the retail industry is a long and storied history that has actual education pillars that I want to teach you. And the biggest part of being a good business owner is mixing intuition with data. A lot of boutique owners start out with incredible intuition, awesome taste, understanding what they love, what fabrics are great. The problem is that when they go to buy and spend money, there's no strategy to it. It's just oh, I think I should order this. I think I should order that. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with that, I wouldn't suggest you do it. I think if we're going to try to make money and make this a business, it's really the combination of intuition and data. So I'm here to give you the data part, okay? Hopefully you have the intuition part. Hopefully you are good at picking out products, but all things considered, the data and the numbers and the strategy is what's going to actually make you that money. Speaking of money, I see way too many boutique owners spending a ton of money on these first orders. Like, truly, again, you don't need to have a full store. You don't need to spend your whole budget. You don't need to have an assortment that has every single size, every single color, breadth versus depth, meaning a variety of products within a container rather than depth in products, meaning buying many units, is always going to win when you're starting out, because you have to see this as a test. When you're testing things, you want to have a lot of like items to test against to see what wins. How does it win by people buying it? That's the data that I'm talking about. A little secret too, just from inside boutique land, if you are brand new to shopping on places like Fashion Go or Fair or any online vendor, you have to read the fine print. Meaning, how much is that vendor's minimum order? What is their sizing like? Is it Missy's? Is it junior? Is it contemporary? Is it children's? Is it tween? Like, we have to get sizing right. And you want to make sure you can hit the vendor minimum and their reorder minimum. So you need to ask all these questions before hitting buy on anything. You've got to make sure what the requirements are and if that item is really going to fit your people. I even made the mistake when I first started out. I bought a bunch of one shoulder dresses that were junior size. They fit no one and they ended up at a fashion class that I taught for kids. So just don't make that mistake. Most new boutique owners like you're going to go to a website, you're going to put a bunch of stuff in the cart that you love and you're going to hit buy. But that is not the correct way to do it, because we want to figure out what our retail prices are first. We want to design into a plan and we want that plan to make a profit. Bottom line, please keep watching this video because we're going to talk about how to buy correctly for this first time out. If you came here looking for Google Sheets and very specific detailed instructions, I want you to comment SMART below and we'll give you the link to the mini course I've created. It's called the Smart Start Inventory Plan. This is the framework I've taught hundreds of boutique owners. All you need to do is comment SMART below and we'll send you that link. All right, so how do we actually do this, Emily? Let's get into the actual strategy. I've told you what not to do. This is what to do and how to buy that initial inventory for your boutique business. So first and foremost, who is your customer? Where else are they shopping? What else are they paying for things? What are those stores featuring? You need to do a little bit of competitive shopping and ideal customer research, okay? So let's not be silly. We know that people shop everywhere and we know our ideal customer shops at other places, but where is that? And it's not just gonna be Amazon. Like, if you want to capture a boutique shopper, you wanna think about places like, let's say you have a kid store, Janie and Jack. You wanna think about Carter's. You wanna think about Old Navy. You wanna think about all of these other brands and even like smaller children's brands. You wanna think about where that mom, that aunt is shopping and what are they paying for things. Even with a women's boutique, we want to think about, are they going to White House Black Market? Or are they more of an Anthropologie kind of person? That's a different customer, right? Those are different price points. And that's the nuance that I want you to come into boutique land with. Understanding the retail landscape a little bit more, because yes, you're going to have competition, but no, you're not, because you're going to do it differently. This competitive research is to understand the marketplace first and foremost, so you can now formulate your assortment and buying plan. So from this information, you're going to start to list out what you want to sell: tops, bottoms, denim, shoes. What does that look like for you? And I want you to put price points to it. What do you feel that people will pay at retail for these items? Now, if everything's $35, I'm going to tell you to stop right now. Like, we don't live in that time anymore. If you know how much your customer will pay, then you are now informed about how much you can spend. Get where I'm going with this? Based on what we know our competitors are charging, that's kind of what we think that market can handle in terms of pricing. So go to competitors' websites. What's their lowest price top? What's their highest price top? What's their lowest price dress? What's their highest price dress? And where do you want to fit in between that, right? You don't have to be the most expensive. You don't even have to cover what they cover. Like, I'm not even saying that you need to compare to a bigger retailer, but those big retailers have millions of dollars of research behind them. So why not leverage them as a place for you doing research to start your store? Once you've figured out those price point ranges, now you can work backwards and figure out the wholesale cost that you need to spend to hit those retail prices. Okay. So talking about margins, margins is what makes us profitable. Most people out on the internet will tell you to just double the price. You're never going to make money. You won't be profitable. I'm going to tell you that right now. Math is math, and we can't change math, unfortunately. It is kind of what it is. If you decide to buy something at a wholesale cost of $20 and only charge $40 for it, you might sell quickly through it, but the amount of profit you're going to make is going to be less. And if you don't sell it, you're screwed because you didn't build in any markdown dollars into your retail pricing structure. So you need to think about being at least at a 2.5 times or a 3 times margin. Now, I talk about margins versus markup. This is markup. So it's easier to communicate when we talk about markup. So I have since 2015, from when I wrote this book, I have been telling people to use a 3x markup, okay? Which means if it costs you at wholesale $10, you will then charge the customer at least $30 for that item. Why? Well, number one, we have to account for inventory replacement and we have to account for markdowns. Like we are building a plan that we want to be profitable for the total business. And we can only do that through the markup that we decide to create. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you can't get products where you can charge 2.5 to 3x what the wholesale cost is, it's going to be harder for you to make money. And that's okay. We can figure it out, but I want you to try to use 2.5 to 3x, so times, as your initial guide. If you have trouble with that, come back. Let's talk about it in the comments. I want to hear more. Okay, so we know who you're selling to, your competitive stores that they're also shopping at, what your retail price structure is going to be, and then what those wholesale costs are that you need to find. Now you get to go look, okay? You get to go look and see what is it that you like with paying attention to the departments you're buying into. So how many tops are you buying to how many bottoms are you buying? How many dresses are you buying to denim, right? Like you want to make sure that you're building out an assortment so it looks interesting. So it looks like I, as the ideal customer, come in and I say, I want everything in here. Like, this is incredible. I want, like, look like my closet. This is insane. That's the reaction we're going for when we start a boutique. Okay. If you want to start off with just a few departments, maybe you just sell tops and bottoms, or maybe you're just a dress store out the gate. That's okay too. Again, you want to be niche. The point is that you don't have it all figured out right now. I'm giving you strategy to try to get that first experiment right without draining your bank account, right? Like I want you to have that really good first launch, but you also have to follow it up after. So like setting this formula up now is going to set us up for the future because we're building our assortment and it's okay to start small. I'd rather you start small and have to build on top of than buy a ton of inventory, have a lot of mistakes, then have to mark down and end up in debt. That's what I see most people do. As you start to search for product and build out this assortment, I'm hoping that you're like keeping the photos, you're seeing how much you need to buy, you're doing some of those calculations to understand how this fits into your budget. So let's say you have a budget of $1,000 to spend on inventory. I really only want you to spend like 40 to 60% of that. So $400 to $600. If you have more than that to spend, if you have $5,000 to spend, I still don't even know if I would recommend you spending like over $2,500. Like that's a lot of inventory. And while you might not think that's a lot, like it's a lot. You can start with $1,000 of really good inventory, assort it well, as I've talked about here, and make a profit right out the gate. Like make your money back plus more. Then as you reinvest, then we start to make some different decisions. But if you are really interested in getting into the nitty-gritty weeds with me, I do have what I talked about before, that Smart Start inventory plan. I go into great detail for a women's boutique, a children's boutique, and also a product shop like a gift shop or an art store. I go in depth. I show you how I shop for things on Faire. I show you how I mark up the prices. In 90 minutes, you're going to know what to buy, how much to buy, what your ideal price points are, what your margin is. I'm going to give you those real vendor walkthroughs, shopping for product and what I see, that fine print I kind of talked about. And I'm even going to give you a template where you can build out that first order with photos and descriptions and tracking information. Truly, if you're opening a boutique, you need this. As I said, I cover women's boutiques, children's boutiques, and any really product-based stores within this inventory plan. This mini course is really going to give you the confidence to place that first order without blowing your budget, because we need to keep some money. All you have to do is comment SMART below, and we'll send you the link to that. I hope that I've given you a lot of information that you can now take to create that first buy. You don't have to guess. You don't have to overspend. You have a strategy now. If you want a more in-depth strategy, comment START below. But everything that I've given you in this video hopefully has given you more confidence on how to actually place that first order. And if you want to know where to place those orders and you haven't found good sources, click on this video that we've linked. It's going to show you where to buy inventory if you haven't figured that out yet. So thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one.